Hi guys. I had a dream or a vision which I want to share because it seemed to carry quite a profound message that may be beneficial for others like yourselves to hear. So prior to this dream, I'd had a vision of Phil Goodlife coming to me in a vision, and he'd said to me, "You know you're about to step into a completely different chapter." And I said, "Yes, I feel it, I sense it." And he said, "And you know you can't take everything with you into this new chapter. There's things you need to leave behind." And I agreed. And he said, "So choose wisely. What are you going to take with you in this next season?" And I found myself thinking, as all these people and faces and situations appeared, what do I want to take into the next chapter with me? And what am I definitely going to be leaving behind? And I saw faces, I saw situations, I saw energies, and it became very obvious to me what I wanted to take with me and what I no longer wanted to bring along for the rest of my journey. It ends here. That's the end of that. And so I made some very specific list. That's coming with me. I'm happy for that to continue and carry on the journey, but not that. And then once I'd made my list, he started to spin me, and I was spinning, and I looked like a DNA strand that was just spinning. And the more I span, I built up this momentum, and I knew I was going to be almost shot forward like an arrow. But I was this DNA, and I was changing as I was spinning. There's something in this spinning that was almost like shaking off old energy, but also like a wind-up toy, preparing me to shoot forward into the next chapter. And then he turned to the side and he said, "And look who's here, look who's coming to greet you." And I looked behind Phil, and approaching me was Jesus. And I've been brought up a Christian and had to disconnect and choose what's right, what works, what doesn't from religion, but keep what works. And Jesus has always been very prominent to me. But as I say, I left church, I left religion a long time ago because it just was not working for me. I just saw too much hypocrisy. Anyway, so Jesus approached me and I was like, "Oh, hi, it's been a while." I used to have, experiences and visions and connections with him all the time, and it seems like it's very few and far between. And there was all this like drapes or muslin just waving all around him, and they were red and they looked like water, and I was thinking, does this represent like the blood or this cleansing? It felt like a ritual was taking place as I stood there, and I was amongst all these wavy muslins, and the wind was blowing, and there was such this feeling of peace. And anyway, he came up to me and he said, "Are you ready for this next chapter? Are you ready to embrace and unlock all of your gifts? Because in this next season, this is going to be all of your gifts, everything you've been training for, everything you've lived your life, all the experiences, all the things you've had to go through, all the testings, the trials, and using your gifts to a certain capacity. This next chapter is now a time when you're going to unlock and step right into your power and your fullness. Are you ready?" And I said, "I think so." So anyway, a few days passed, and I've just been having sleepless night after night, and I'm aware that when I've been asleep, something is not asleep, something has been activated, and I'm constantly waking up like I'm conscious of something that took place last night. And there was this message each night after night, trying to come through, talking about kind of this figure 8 and this energy that was running through and knowing right from wrong. And I was aware I was being lessons were taking place whilst I was supposedly asleep. I might have had my eyes closed, but my spirit was busy at work, experiencing or having these messages trying to come through into my conscious mind. So night after night, I was having this sleeplessness, and I was like, I can't wake up with the finality of the message in my brain. So I was a bit frustrated trying to work out what this message was, why I was having this sleeplessness. And then it was literally a few evenings after this Phil Goodman vision, I spent the evening with Jesus. And it was quite an emotional time. But essentially he came to me and he said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. I planted seeds within you long before you were even born. Your soul came to this earth with a mission. There was a seed planted within your heart. And you've walked through your life and you've watered it and you've taken care of it. But there's also been a huge season where you've been disconnected from me or felt my absence. And yet in the darkness and in the trials and the things that you've gone through, you have still managed to maintain the growth of that seed that I planted within you many, many years ago." And I looked down and I saw this plant just growing up out of me. And it just made me cry because I realized that it hasn't been in vain. It hasn't been all these trials, all these moments where you feel like you've been left or you've been abandoned or you've been betrayed or you've lost your way along the road, yet you're still trying to do the right thing and you're still trying to maintain growth and not become bitter but to become better. And I realized that I had never been alone. I'd never been alone, even in the times when I felt like I'd been alone, in the darkest hours and the most difficult times in my life. I was not alone. And I said, "Why did you have to, your presence or feeling like God, source, you had left me?" And he said, "I've never left. I've never forsaken you. I've always been there, but I had to hide because it's in the darkness." And I realized that it made complete sense suddenly. You put a seed deep in the darkness into the earth, and it probably, if it had a consciousness, would feel like it had been abandoned and left, forsaken. And that's how at times I felt throughout the years when things were really difficult. But here he was saying that's exactly how it was planned to be, and well done. But now my plant has burst forth out of the earth, and now it can be seen. And it's going to be seen, and it's going to continue growing, and it's going to bear fruit. So this is the season that we're in now. We're going to bear fruit. We're going to help others through their times of difficulty. And we're going to help support others, and we're going to use our gifts to bring comfort to others. And I sat with Jesus and we talked, and suddenly all this scripture made so much sense to me. Things that I'd learned as a child, take away the religious side of things, but the truth of the messages, the parables. And he said to me, you now need to pass this seed on to others. You need to pass on the knowing that you're never alone and you are always connected to God, to Source. And he put his hand on my head and he said, "Peace, peace be unto you." And he kept saying it, and I was just wave after wave being filled with this peace. Shalom, shalom, shalom. And he said, "You're going to give people peace. You're going to bring peace to them and make them feel okay in times when they're feeling really lost and broken." And I felt really thankful. Things suddenly clicked into place. My past suddenly made sense. All of it just clicked. And he said, "Okay, now you're ready to move on to your..." And I looked to the left of me and there was this bright rainbow path, like a bloody long rainbow curved into the direction of the future. He said, "That's your path. And it's so unique and individual. Only you will see it and know it and recognize it as your own. It's a very unique path and you just have to stay on that path and keep walking." So I walked towards the rainbow path, and again Feel Good Life turned up and he said, "I'm going to give you 3 instructions before you embark on this rainbow path of yours. 1, not everyone's going to understand your journey. Don't worry about it. 2, keep your eyes blinkered along this path. This is your path, no one else's path. Don't worry what everyone else is doing or thinking. Just walk your path. And 3, I'm going to turn up your brightness." And I became a light bulb, and he was turning up this dial, and I was getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And I was thinking I'm going to pop, like the glass is going to smash. It was just getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And I was laughing with him. I was saying, are you going to stop turning up the dial because I'm going to pop? He was like, no, we're just going to keep getting you brighter and brighter and brighter. And you are, just like Jesus, the light to the world. You're going to be a light. Because not only are you getting brighter, but the world is getting more dark. So keep walking. And I turned and I thanked him. And then I channeled this message for him. And I don't know him personally, but I knew that he's walked a very difficult path to get where he is today. And there are going to be many others rising up to help people along the way. I love you today.